Welcome to 1111 with your host with the most, the Oracle May, and my lovely guest. I'm kind of envisioning you guys seeing it like that. Nadira Badardin.
Hi, guys.
Welcome, Nadira. Tell us a bit about yourself for those who don't know.
Okay, so I'm Nadira. I'm a Malaysian writer, content creator, and founder of the food blog, nadsafry.com. I used to work in media in Malaysia where I wrote for several female lifestyle platforms. I currently live in the Netherlands. I spend my time freelance writing, upkeeping my blog. I cook every day. So if you see me on Instagram, you're always gonna find food because every day
literally.
I mean, like it. And I create content and model. Sorry?
I said you make people hungry every day.
I'm sorry, but
and then self-esteem is an issue many women deal with. Like, were you always secure and confident, or did that come later?
oh, that came a lot later. I actually grew up with a lot of insecurities and like I have my days. I have my days where I'm like, yeah, I'm a bad bitch. I'm gonna, I look good today and stuff, and I'm just gonna, make people stare at me in the streets. So I'll be fine with that. And then there are days where I'm just like, why? Why am I
Why do I look like this?
Why do I look like this? I can't wear any of my clothes right now. That sucks. And also it just comes from a place where growing up, you're being told that you're not good enough, right? I don't see people look like me on TV when I was growing up.
Yeah.
I don't see people in the magazines or whatever who look like me.
So I think we actually had it hard as a generation because we were looking at very thin people of a certain race. And if they're of a different race, they're a certain type. So you're like, okay, so I do not look like that, which means I am the wrong type of Black, or I'm the wrong type of Asian, or I'm the wrong type of white. And then now the kids have a bit more to look at because, like you said, you model. Who knows who came across your picture? It could have been a very insecure person that looks and is like, oh, and they see and they're like, okay, so I can be beautiful as well. So I think it's like we are trying to probably with the generation that's trying to change the narrative because the way we grew up being told, yeah, no, you're too short, you're too big, your nose is too flat, your mouth is not big enough, and you're just there like, okay, so what am I?
What am I supposed to do now with all this information you're giving me, right? But no, for real, my self-esteem, it really took a hit. And I feel like I gained confidence closer to adulthood as opposed to in the teenage years. I also went to an all-girl high school. So fun.
Say no more. I went to a couple of schools. One of them was an all-girls school as well.
Must be amazing. I mean, teenage girls. Yes.
You know what? School kids are actually just generally mean. And they used to be so mean back in the days. I think these days there are a couple of parents who are actually trying to be like, no, don't. And you hear of these stories of, oh, my son or my daughter stood up for this person. I mean, like, we needed more of that back in the day because school kids could be very mean.
Oh my God, they really could be. And we had parents who were just like, I mean, what do you want me to do about it?
Yeah.
What, that was wrong? And I'm like, oh, okay.
It's a lot. It's actually quite a lot. And when you started like this journey of loving yourself, who did you receive the most backlash from?
It was people I knew. Because the people who don't know you, when you start loving yourself and try being very vocal about that, everybody's like, yes, queen, do it. Yes, love yourself. We want to see it, right? Mm-hmm. But the people who know you, let me tell you, you don't know any of these people until you make it in a way that they did not expect.
Yeah, I can relate. There were some people who I didn't expect, and they kind of made me feel bad finally starting to love myself. And I was like, you question yourself for like a second, and then you go like, you know what? Somebody out there thinks I'm a bad bee. So screw your opinion. I'm a bad bee. I'm gonna just continue, because so many times we self-project because they see, okay, Nadira's there and she's doing this campaign. I wish I could do that. So let me just self-project and say that she shouldn't be doing that, you know? And it's like,
True.
it's a quick thought process that perhaps some people don't even know they're doing it. They just immediately just self-project. And then obviously
Yeah.
there comes jealousy. There's always someone who you thought would be down for you who's actually jealous, and now you're like, okay, like growing up, they don't tell you about that part.
They don't tell you about that. They're just like, oh, you just do you. It's fine. You'll be fine. The people who love you will love you. And then you end up loving this person for some amount of years. And this person just turns around and be like, I don't know if you should be doing all that.
You're like, wait, it's actually more, like you said, it's strangers who actually love you more as you grow than it is actually people who you know. A lot of the time.
It's how you start a business, right?
Yeah.
And for me, I feel like in my experience of running, like, I don't know, different multiple baking businesses over the years, it was always like, yeah, friends and all, they're supportive, but also at the end of the day, strangers are gonna hype you up. They're gonna like send you these reviews and like, oh my God, those were amazing. Your friends are gonna be like, nice.
Because at least it's a stranger telling you, as opposed to me who may be telling you because I'm your friend and I don't want you to think it. So I'm like, yeah, they're great. And then there's a stranger like, yo, they were great. Like this person who hasn't tasted your food. So they're like, yo.
Yeah, see, it's stuff like that. But for me, yeah, it was people I knew. My mom had her part in it. But for me, I felt like she was coming from a place where it was just a different time for her, right? Beauty standards were different.
Yeah.
She also had to deal with some of the things I was dealt with, right?
Yeah.
Telling
and
people,
didn't know how to deal with them.
Yeah. And she didn't know how to deal with them. So when she had a daughter, she thought this was the best way to do it, right? To shield me from the world. It didn't help, but also it's not like parenting doesn't come with a set of rules. So you gotta let shit go sometimes.
True. And I think we're like all learning. I think people are being more vocal, like, you know what? Growing up, mom or dad, you did this and I didn't like it. I wish you could have done this. And then you're getting the smaller ones who tell you, like, I know for sure my nieces or my nephew will tell you, I don't like that. You're like, oh, okay. You have to like take the little feelings into consideration. You're like, I'm sorry. Like, continue to speak up though, because I couldn't. But continue to speak up. So there is that. And the next question is, why do you think women of color are scared to be or own their sensuality and sexuality?
I'm gonna say it's society, and it's also the society we grew up in, and it's a generational thing. Again, back to how we grew up with Eurocentric beauty standards. We always saw like a certain look that was aspired. Even today, like I worked in media, right? And up until, I don't know, 3 years ago, people in media and the businesses that want to sell their products, they're like, try looking for an aspirational type of beauty. Try looking for an influencer with an aspirational type of look. What does that mean? Right? And then you go back to like, okay, what does aspirational look mean to me? And then you bring it back to the client, and the client's like, no, absolutely not this.
By aspiration, I mean A, B, C, D.
I mean a set of things that we've been doing for the last 20, 30 years.
And I think it's also partially kind of being conditioned. Like, so many people have sexualized and made women of color fetishes. So that when one actually owns her sensuality or sexuality, people immediately jump onto that thing of, you're being too sexual, who's going to marry you, who's going to love you, because of the fact that people have sexualized us for so long, for the longest, because, you know, there are times when I'm pretty sure we both have different experiences, but there are times where someone will be like, oh, you're Black, you're African, so that means, and you're like, no, that's not what it means at all.
Oh, this is so true. Even Malay girls as well. I mean, I'm mixed, right? So I
Yeah.
don't fit like the Malay girl box, but also everyone's like, ooh, she's exotic. Ooh, she looks
Yeah.
like that. And I'm like, what am I, a bird? Am I a bird? How is
Like,
this?
am I an endangered species that you're like, oh, this one's exotic?
Yeah, and I actually noticed this quite a bit. Like if I decide to dress and like just, switch it up a little bit, or maybe if I'm at the beach
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know, anywhere in the world, if I'm at the beach and I put on a bikini,
Mm-hmm.
I would always get people looking. And it's not like a look that's kind of like a, checking me out kind of look. It's more of like a, oh, wow, she's wearing that. She's actually doing it. And you're like, okay, and it's not like you're wearing anything different.
Yeah. And I think, you know what? I think what I like is that your husband seems to be very supportive. So that is also a must of having a partner. If you have a partner, having one who's actually supportive, like, yeah. Because, you know, some people will be like, bro, look at your wife. And it's like, yeah, she's hot. And, you know, like, there's nothing you can say after that because the guys just told you what.
That's true. And also a big part of that is me being stubborn, because when we did first start dating, he was like, why do you wear these clothes? And I'm like, because I want to.
Yeah.
And after a while, like, I can't tell you nothing. You're going to do it anyway.
But it's learning, I think. It's learning to accept who you are and having somebody accept that, okay, you know what? On some days, Nadira's going to go full on Beyonce. And everyone is going to be like, this man is out of her league. And then on other days, she's going to look like a hobo, but she's my hobo.
Exactly. And that's me at home. 90% of the time, I'm just in my captain in the kitchen, I'm, frying chicken.
You know, with some oil stains. And is that flour?
Yeah. So, like, he's seen all of that. So it's fine.
Yeah. And then you entered a competition, I remember, that took you to the UK. How did this help in boosting your confidence?
It did help me a lot, because when I joined that competition, I was just kind of like mucking about at home. I remember this clearly. I was done fixing lunch. I was just on my couch. And I was just like, oh, look, they're looking for new faces for a new campaign.
Mm-hmm.
What are the odds I get it? Probably zero. And then I tagged my Instagram account and all that, and just forgot about it. I just forgot about it because I was like, I'm not doing anything on Instagram anyway. This is never going to happen.
And then it happened.
And then it happened. A week later, I got tagged, and they were like, oh, you've been selected to join the finals for the casting competition. And I was just like, I just sat there going like, wait, what?
Like, you mean me?
Me, little old me. And then I clicked the hashtag, and there were like thousands of posts, right, for the competition. And I was just like, is this a trick? I still did not believe it until I emailed them, and they're like, no, yeah, we're gonna send you to London for the casting competition and stuff. You did good. You're a finalist. Like, congratulations to you. So I was like, cool. And that was fun. The validation of that was very empowering, I guess. It was a very quick way to just be like, oh wow, okay, I'm worthy as well, I guess.
Yeah, but and you saw other women as well.
Yeah, what helped was actually talking to these other women and their very different experiences growing up with beauty expectations, and these women were gorgeous and beautiful and just hyping each other up. And that was fun because it was actually my first casting thing ever, right? And it was all the way in London. And these women were just trying to hype me up and, just support each other. I think that helped a lot. That boosted my confidence a lot more than the, oh, wow, you've been selected for the finals.
That's lovely. It's always nice when women empower women. And from that, what did you learn that you could impart to somebody who perhaps is always tagging and never getting, or has gotten but never been to the finals? Like, what did you learn that you could impart?
What did I learn mostly is that there's not only one casting call. There's a million. There's always casting calls. If you want to do it, you can do it. Just don't stop. Just keep at it, right? And then do all the things you need to succeed. Learn your damn angles. Be confident in front of the camera. I wish I knew this when I went. I didn't win the competition. A good friend of mine did though, and I was very happy for her. She did. She brought it. But yeah, I would say just don't stop. Just keep doing it. It's not, if you don't get this casting call, there's always the next one. That's opportunities everywhere. You'll be fine.
Yeah. And you recently worked with another brand. I think it's Snag Tights. Is that correct?
Yes, Snag Tights.
And those pictures were amazing. How did that feel? How did they find you?
Oh, that one I went for. See, that's another thing, right? I went for that. Yeah, I shot my shot. My friend was like, "Oh, hey, this British company, they're looking for people, and they said they send you some tights, and they'll pay if you post, pay for each product you shoot for them." So I was like, "Okay, why not?" I mean, like, I'm back in the Netherlands. I'm not really doing anything right now. I've got a bit of a quiet period. I'll just do it, right? So they sent over the tights. I did the shoot. It was actually really fun.
Who took the pics?
Just me and my tripod. What? Sorry?
Oh, you did that by yourself, the pictures?
No, not all of them. My husband helped, actually. He was very cute. Because we're still in lockdown, right? So I can't.
Might as well.
Yeah. I had a tight deadline, so I had to do it on my own. And then he helped. He was actually very, very helpful. It was very, very nice.
That's nice. Those are like, I looked at those pictures and I was like, she's got that confidence. What's stopping you? Because I was looking at those tights and I was like, the whole aesthetic of everything was actually like really, really nice. And yeah, anyone who wants to actually see and buy themselves them damn tights like I do, you can always just go onto our Instagram. That'll also be in the description box below. Who else would you like to work with? I mean, you may never know who's watching who'll be like,
Oh my God, Rihanna. Rihanna forever. For real. Like that woman, she does everything I believe in, like the way she represents diversity, the way she's really doing the damn thing. She's doing it. And that's so admirable to me. Like, I don't care if it's Savage, Fenty Skin, Fenty Beauty, or it's me cooking her a meal in my house. I will do anything she asks me to do.
I think I feel the same way, especially like the Fenty and the makeup. Like, I actually bought makeup. Everybody knows I don't do makeup. I haven't even done makeup in like years, right? But I was like, what the hell? Let me try. And I actually bought her products because I was like, if I'm gonna do makeup, I'm drinking with some Fenty. And I was like, if she ever comes to Africa, like, I'm gonna shoot my shot. Like, do you want an African representative? Because like, I'm right here. I love how she diversifies though.
Right?
Like,
I really love it.
It's everyone, and the pictures just always come out so amazing, and it's that narrative that we needed. She's bringing the narrative we needed.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, this may be an unpopular opinion, but this is bigger than the music, you guys. Give her a break about the album and let her.
I feel like she's just gonna drop an album when no one's expecting, because
exactly.
So I think like when we're not even thinking about it, she's just gonna be like, "Here you guys go. You wanted an album here."
See, no pressure.
So you've been married for some years. What piece of advice would you give newlyweds or people in relationships from your experience?
From my experience.
Yeah.
Well, one important thing is marriage is filled with compromise. All the compromise. But if it requires you changing who you are for it to work, it's already too big of a compromise. Don't do it.
That's true. I agree.
And also, like Jada and Will said, you can't expect a person to make you feel whole or happy. That's on you forever. You can work at things together. You could grow. You could do all these things together by home, but none of it will make a difference unless you're satisfied with the person you are and work on that every day. That's it.
Nice. And the last of my 11 questions, can you give me 5 Dutch phrases and 5 Malay phrases one has to know when in the respective countries?
Okay, let's start with this is a very cute one. This first one is like a 2-word thing because it comes together. It's hui and dui. That's hi and bye. Yeah.
Oh, hui dui.
That's how you say hi and bye. That's informal. Of course, there's goedemorgen and stuff like that, right? But it's always like, I would always hear this from my neighbors. They'd be like, hui, dui. It's the cutest thing ever. But yeah,
that is actually quite cute.
Right? And then there's dankjewel. Dankjewel is thank you, of course. And then there's, dankjewel. And then there's alsjeblieft. Alsjeblieft is more of like, it's a please, but it can also be used as a you're welcome.
Oh.
Say if you're at the cashier and you're paying for your groceries or whatever, and then you say dankjewel when they give you your change. The cashier will always say alsjeblieft, so it's kind of like, yeah.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And then another one is tot ziens, which is good day.
Tot ziens. Well, I'm gonna murder this language. 30 Dutch people.
I'm murdering it already. Trust me. I've been here for 2 years. It's Dutch is really tough to learn.
Yeah.
And the last Dutch phrase is proost. Proost is cheers.
Oh, so. Proost. I think I like hui and dui.
I like hui and dui too. That's my favorite one.
And Malay?
Okay, Malay. I'm going to give you the basics that you're just going to use anytime you're outside. First one is kakak.
Is what?
Is sister. Kakak.
Kakak.
Kakak. So that means sister, elder sister, right?
Okay, yeah.
So you go to the store and you want to buy, I don't know, nasi lemak. And then you be like, kak, nasi lemak satu, right?
Yeah.
So that's kakak. That's the first one. And then there's abang.
Abang.
Which is also, big brother. And adik. Adik can be used for younger brother, younger sister. It has no gender. But these 3 words, you will find yourself using more than often. And it's always one of things. And then berapa. Berapa? This is one word. Berapa is just one word, but it means how much, right? And then there's terima kasih, thank you. Sama-sama, you're welcome. And my favorite one is jom makan. Let's go eat.
My favorite was nasi ayam. That's what my favorite was. You can all go Google what that is. But, obviously it's got something to do with food. But thank you so much for joining me on 11/11. I think everybody will learn something, hoping. If it's even just the phrases, then, I helped you out somewhere.
That's true.
Yeah, and hopefully we'll have you on a bit later on in the year. You're my second guest, so.
Yay.
You made it.
Very excited for this.